It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday in Columbus, Ohio. The Walmart parking lot is almost empty. Shopping carts roll through puddles under a flickering yellow light, and one Ford F-150 sits alone in the back row, engine ticking as it cools. Inside that truck, Wojak hamster is staring at his phone. His paws are trembling, not from the cold, from two words glowing on his screen. Insufficient funds. $11.37 in checking. Payday is 10 days away. The grocery bags behind his seat, ground beef, white bread, off-brand mac and cheese, cost him $73. His card went through for the food, but the auto pay for his truck insurance, $230, just tried to pull. Declined. That's a $35 overdraft fee about to hit. $35 for being $5 short. Annualize that and you're looking at 700% interest on a $5 gap. The bank has a special word for Wojak. They call him a revolver, someone who revolves debt forever, and they love him for it. If you want to see how Wojak's night gets even worse, and trust me, by the end of this story he'll wish he never signed that truck loan, hit subscribe right now, because what's building on the other side of the planet is about to make his $11 feel like the good old days. 3 rows over in the same parking lot sits a 2014 Toyota Camry. Paint chipped, bumper sticker reads HODL. Inside, Doge Papa sips green tea from a dented thermos and scrolls through oil futures on his phone. He already knows what's coming. He texts El Pepperoni one line. Much storm, very squeeze, wow. Then he closes the app, starts the engine, and drives home. Same parking lot as Wojak. Same economy. Same Tuesday night. But Doge Papa filled his tank yesterday. Not because he's psychic, but because he reads futures charts every morning the way Wojak reads ESPN. Same effort, different target, completely different life. And El Pepperoni? He's sitting behind his desk right now, pepperoni sombrero tilted to the left, espresso in hand, 3 monitors glowing with oil charts and shipping lane maps. He reads Doge Papa's text, nods. He's seen this movie twice before. Both times it ended with ordinary people losing their cars, then their apartments, then their dignity. This time will be worse, and he can prove it with one chart. Let's start with what's happening right now in the Strait of Hormuz. Picture a bottleneck of ocean 34 kilometers wide. 21% of the world's oil squeezes through that gap every single day. 1/5 of everything that keeps the global economy breathing, passing through a choke point that Iran could shut with a few mines and some speedboats. Iranian Revolutionary Guard vessels have been running aggressive patrols for 18 months. They've seized tankers. They've fired warning shots. And with Israel and Iran exchanging strikes, that strait is one miscalculation away from closing. While those speedboats circle tankers in Hormuz, Wojak sits in his truck scrolling Instagram, double-tapping a photo of somebody else's Lamborghini. He has no idea that each patrol run just added 9 cents to his next gallon. Down in Yemen, Houthi rebels have been launching anti-ship missiles at tankers in the Red Sea since late 2023. Insurance for one passage through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait jumped 10 times in 12 months. So shipping companies reroute around Africa. 10 to 15 extra days per voyage. More fuel burned. More crew wages. More insurance premiums. Every added dollar lands in the price of each barrel before it ever touches a refinery in Houston. Doge Papa refreshes his shipping lane tracker, sees the reroutes stacking up around the Cape of Good Hope. He nods quietly and adds 2% to his energy position. No drama, just math. Now stack Trump's tariffs on top, 25% on Canadian imports. And here's what cable news never explains. Canada is America's single largest oil supplier. Not Saudi Arabia, not Mexico. Canada. 4 million barrels per day flow south across that border. A 25% tariff means every barrel arriving at American refineries costs more. Oil companies won't eat that margin. They'll pass it to you at the pump, dollar by dollar. If this is starting to click, smash that like button. It's free, takes half a second, and helps more people see the trap before it closes. Now, here's the part that made even El Pepperoni put down his espresso. OPEC Plus already slashed production by 2 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia needs oil at $90 a barrel to bankroll Vision 2030. Neom, The Line, a ski resort in the middle of the desert. Russia needs revenue for its war machine. Their interests align perfectly. Less oil, higher prices, and the American consumer foots the bill. Goldman Sachs modeled a 90-day Hormuz closure in January 2025. The result? Oil at $200 per barrel. At current refining margins and state taxes, that translates to $9 to $12 per gallon depending on your zip code. California hits 12. Ohio, where Wojak is parked right now with his $11, $9.50. You're probably thinking, but America produces 13 million barrels a day. Energy independence. And technically, you're right. But oil trades on a global market. When Hormuz closes, prices rise everywhere. American oil companies won't sell you cheaper gas because you're a patriot. They sell wherever the price is highest. That's not conspiracy. That's a commodity market. And the market doesn't care about the flag on Wojak's bumper. Three forces: Hormuz instability, Houthi shipping chaos, Trump's Canada tariffs, plus OPEC cuts as the accelerant. Each alone pushes prices 15 to 20%. But together they don't add. They multiply. That's a cascade. And Wojak, still sitting in that parking lot, still staring at his $11 bank balance, doesn't even know the word cascade. But he's about to live inside one, because the price of gas isn't even the real problem. The real problem is what Wojak parked his entire financial life inside. That truck. And what it truly costs him is about to make you physically uncomfortable. Wojak walks through the automatic doors of that Columbus Walmart at 11:52 p.m. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. The floor smells like cleaning solution and day-old rotisserie chicken. He grabs a basket and heads for the meat aisle. Chicken thighs. The package that cost $4.99 per pound 3 months ago now reads $6.49, 30% more. Wojak picks it up, puts it back, picks it up again. His jaw tightens. He drops it in the basket because his kids need to eat, and he doesn't know how to solve a problem he can't even name. Here's the name: diesel fuel. That chicken didn't get more expensive because the chicken changed. It got expensive because of the truck that brought it here. Every single product on every shelf in this Walmart arrived on an 18-wheeler averaging 6.5 miles per gallon. The American Trucking Association says 72% of all freight in the United States moves by truck. 72. Your food, your clothes, your toothpaste, the toilet paper you panic bought during COVID, all of it rode on diesel. When diesel jumps from $3.50 to $7 per gallon, shipping a full truckload from Memphis to Columbus goes from $1,800 in fuel to $3,600. Double. Trucking companies can't absorb it. Margins run 3 to 5%. They pass it to Walmart. Walmart passes it to the shelf. The shelf passes it to Wojak's debit card. And right now, while Wojak stands in aisle 9 staring at chicken, his phone vibrates in his pocket. He doesn't check it yet. He should. That vibration is the overdraft hitting. His $11 just became negative $23.63. The bleeding has already started, and he's still shopping. 3 aisles over, Doge Papa loads his cart calmly. He switched to whole chickens 2 months ago, $2 cheaper per pound, same protein. Much savings, he mutters. Very obvious. He saw diesel futures climbing and adjusted his grocery budget before the prices hit the shelf. Same store, same inflation, different preparation. The Federal Reserve modeled the 2022 energy shock. When gas hit $5 that summer, the average American household's grocery bill rose $89 per month. Scale that to $10 gas and you're looking at $180 to $240 per month in extra food costs alone. That's not El Pepperoni's guess. It's the Fed's own elasticity model, extrapolated. And groceries are just one line item. Amazon embeds fuel surcharges invisibly. That $22 pack of paper towels becomes $27, and Wojak never sees a line that says, fuel surcharge. El Pepperoni watches Wojak's Amazon order history, phone case, LED strip lights, a gym bag he'll never use. Every order carries the hidden tax. Wojak pays and doesn't notice. El Pepperoni notices everything. El Pepperoni calls this the invisible freight tax. You'll never see it on a receipt. No line item says, you're paying more because oil is expensive. But it's inside every dollar of every purchase you make. And while Wojak stands in that aisle, trying to figure out why his paycheck doesn't stretch, the answer is rumbling past the store on Interstate 70, an 18-wheeler burning $7 diesel, carrying tomorrow's price increase on its flatbed. But the freight tax is just the shrapnel. The real bomb? It's parked outside. Wojak's F-150. Let's open the hood and count every dollar it's draining from his life. And the number that comes out at the end will change how you see your own driveway. Now let's do the math that Ford Motor Company and Chase Auto Finance pray you never do. Wojak earns $55,000 a year. Sounds decent. Middle class. American dream with a side of fries. But watch what happens when El Pepperoni puts that number on his whiteboard, the $19 one from Office Depot, nothing fancy, and starts subtracting. Federal income tax, state tax, FICA, that $55,000 just became roughly $41,000 in take-home, already stings. Now enter the truck. Wojak's F-150 gets 14 miles per gallon. He drives 50 miles round trip to work, 5 days a week, 250 miles. At 14 miles per gallon, he burns 17.8 gallons weekly, just commuting. At today's $4.70 per gallon, that's $83.66 a week. $334 a month just to sit in traffic and get to a job he hates. But that's today's price. When gas hits $7, not 10, just 7. His monthly fuel bill jumps to $498. And at $10 per gallon, $635 per month, just to commute. Now add the truck payment. Wojak financed over 72 months at 7.9% APR because his credit score is 642. Monthly payment, $620. Add full coverage insurance, required by the lender, $230 per month. At $10 gas, Wojak's truck cost him $635 for fuel, plus $620 for the loan, plus $230 for insurance, $1,485 per month, multiplied by 12, $17,820 per year. On a $41,000 take-home income, let that land. Wojak spends 43.5% of his after-tax pay on his truck, not on rent, not on food for his kids, on a depreciating piece of metal that loses value every single day. He owns it. He's not driving to work. He's working to drive, 3 rows away, same parking lot. Doge Papa's 2014 Camry cost $8,500 cash 4 years ago. No loan, no interest, no lender demanding full coverage. Liability-only insurance, $67 a month. His Camry gets 33 miles per gallon. Same commute, same 250 miles, but he burns 7.6 gallons per week. At $10 gas, that's $76 a week, $304 per month, add insurance. Total monthly transportation cost, $371. Yearly, $4,452. Wojak, $17,820. Doge Papa, $4,452. The difference is $13,368. Every year, same economy, same roads, same Walmart. Doge Papa sips his tea. Much savings, very math. Wow. You're probably thinking, but Wojak needs a truck for work. Maybe he hauls things. Maybe he needs the bed. Fair point. But El Pepperoni checked. Wojak works at a call center. He sits in a cubicle 8 hours a day wearing a headset. The only thing his truck bed has carried in 6 months is a flat-pack bookshelf from IKEA and 3 bags of mulch. He bought a $42,000 truck to haul 3 bags of mulch. El Pepperoni adjusts his sombrero and says nothing. The math already said enough. But the fuel cost and the payment aren't even the cruelest part. There's a number hiding inside Wojak's truck that he's never calculated, and it's the one that turns a bad decision into a sealed trap. Depreciation. And when gas hits $10, this number will make Wojak wish he'd taken the bus. Wojak's 2021 F-150 was worth $42,000 when he bought it. Today, with 60,000 miles, it's worth about $29,000 on the private market. $13,000 in value. Gone. Evaporated. But here's the twist El Pepperoni circled in red on his whiteboard. When gas hits $10, nobody wants a 14-mile-per-gallon truck. Demand craters. During the 2022 spike, when gas only hit $5, resale values on full-size pickups dropped 19% in 4 months. At $10, the collapse goes deeper. Wojak's truck, currently worth $29,000, might fetch $21,000 or $22,000 in a panic market, and he still owes $26,000 on the loan. He's underwater, owing more than the truck is worth. Can't sell without bringing $4,000 to $5,000 in cash to the closing. Can't afford to keep driving. Can't afford to stop. A financial coffin on 4 wheels, and the lid just closed. Wojak looks at his truck through the Walmart window. For the first time, it doesn't look like freedom. It looks like a cage with a V8 engine. Meanwhile, Doge Papa's beat-up Camry actually appreciates during energy crises. Fuel-efficient used cars become gold when gas spikes. His $8,500 purchase could fetch $9,000 or $10,000 in a spike market. The cheap car gained value. The expensive truck lost value. This is the Boots theory of pickups. Wojak bought the expensive option that costs more every year. Doge Papa bought the cheap option that profits in a crisis. Poverty is expensive, frugality is profitable, and right now, Wojak's truck is sinking faster than he can pay it off. He's underwater, and the water is rising. Now let's pull the camera back and look at Wojak's complete financial picture at $10 gas. Take-home pay, $41,000 per year, $3,417 per month. His monthly costs, truck payment $620, insurance $230, fuel $635, rent for a one-bedroom in Columbus, $950, utilities $140, phone $80, groceries, now inflated by the invisible freight tax, $620, total $3,275 per month. That leaves $142 for everything else. Clothes for his kids, a haircut, a birthday present, medicine, one unexpected expense, a flat tire, a dentist visit, a school field trip fee, and he's back in overdraft territory. Back to $35 penalties. Back to that parking lot at midnight, shaking. You might be thinking, just earn more, Wojak. Get a raise. Find a better job. And El Pepperoni leans forward, sombrero casting a shadow across the whiteboard. Earning more doesn't fix a broken structure. If Wojak gets a $10,000 raise and keeps the truck, he's still bleeding. The truck eats a fixed amount every month regardless of his salary. The only way to stop the bleeding is to cut the artery. The artery is the truck. And this is where El Pepperoni introduces the concept that separates every Wojak in America from every Doge Papa. He calls it the gallon line. And once you know yours, you can never unsee it. The gallon line is the exact price per gallon at which your specific vehicle crosses from transportation into financial self-destruction. Here's the formula. Take your annual after-tax income, multiply by 0.1, that's 10%. Divide by 12 for your monthly transportation ceiling. If your total monthly vehicle cost, fuel plus payment plus insurance, exceeds that number, you're above the gallon line. Your car is no longer serving you. You're serving it. For Wojak at $41,000 take-home, 10% is $4,100 per year, $342 per month. His truck costs $1,485 at $10 gas. He's not just above the gallon line. He's in orbit. He crossed it the day he signed that 72-month loan. He just didn't know the line existed. For Doge Papa, same income, his Camry costs $371 per month at $10 gas, barely above. Swap that Camry for a Corolla getting 35 miles per gallon and he drops to 348. Below the line. Safe. Free. Much freedom, Doge Papa whispers. Very gallon. Wow. But the gallon line isn't just personal. It's a market signal. When the national average gas price crosses the gallon line for the median American household, consumer spending craters. In 2022, the national gallon line sat around $5.60. When gas hit $5.01 that June, discretionary spending dropped 4.7% within 60 days. Credit card debt spiked $32 billion in one quarter. At $10 gas, the nation doesn't cross the gallon line. It obliterates it. El Pepperoni's model, built on the Fed's consumer expenditure data, projects a 12 to 18% contraction in discretionary spending. That's recession, store closings, layoffs, 2022 on steroids with a side of 2008. Are you brave enough to calculate your own gallon line right now? Because the number doesn't lie. And for most people watching, it's going to sting. But knowing it is the first step to getting below it. And getting below it is exactly what El Pepperoni is about to show you. The full escape sequence, step by step, dollar by dollar. Here's the plan. El Pepperoni taps the whiteboard. Wojak needs to sell the truck. Not next month. Not when the market improves. Now. A 2021 F-150 with 60,000 miles still fetches $28,000 to $32,000 in today's market. Remaining loan balance, roughly $26,000. Wojak walks away with $2,000 to $6,000 cash after paying off Chase. The second that loan closes, $620 per month stops bleeding out. Insurance drops from $230 to whatever liability only costs on his replacement. The replacement, a 2015 Toyota Corolla, 130,000 miles, listed at $7,200 on Facebook Marketplace, 35 miles per gallon. Wojak buys it cash. The remaining money goes into a high-yield savings account paying 4.8% APY, not his checking account earning 0.01%, where the bank lends his money out at 12% and pays him crumbs. Now Wojak has $883 extra per month, old truck payment of $620, plus insurance difference of about $163, plus fuel savings averaging $100 at current prices. $883 freed up every month. El Pepperoni taps the whiteboard again. This is where you stop being a revolver and start being what the banks call a deadbeat, someone they can't profit from. First move with that freed cash, and this is the one that made Doge Papa a millionaire over 20 years. Energy ETF, El Pepperoni sombrero, tilts forward as he says it. If gas goes to $10, your transportation costs rise. But if you own shares in the company selling that gas, your portfolio rises too. You're hedged. You profit from your own pain. A broad energy ETF returned 23% in 2022 while Wojak was crying at the pump. $200 per month into the hedge. Your pain becomes your profit. Next, the 401k match. Wojak's employer matches 50 cents on the dollar up to 6%. Wojak contributes zero. That's $1,650 per year in free money sitting on the table, and Wojak walks past it every pay period. El Pepperoni's frog eyes narrow. Your employer is trying to hand you free cash and you're saying no because you think you can't afford it. But you could afford $700 a month for a truck you don't need? Wojak starts contributing 6%. Take-home drops about $275 per month, but the employer adds $137.50 in free matching. Over 20 years at average 7% returns, that grows to roughly $193,000. From nothing. From money that was going to Chase Auto Finance for a depreciating truck. With the remaining $408 per month, El Pepperoni opens 2 more accounts on the same screen. An HSA, health savings account, triple tax advantage, contributions pre-tax, growth tax-free, withdrawals for medical expenses tax-free, the only account in the American tax code that gives you a break at every stage, max it at $4,150 per year. If Wojak had $2,000 in an HSA, that dentist visit wouldn't trigger an overdraft spiral. That inhaler wouldn't force a choice between breathing and driving, and a high-yield savings for the emergency buffer, $2,000 minimum, at $883 freed per month minus the 401k contribution, minus the energy, ETF, minus the HSA allocation. Wojak still has enough to build that buffer in under 4 months. By month 4, he has something he hasn't felt in years. Breathing room, margin, a cushion between him and the next $35 overdraft fee. Doge Papa has had both accounts for 15 years. Much tax advantage, he says. Very triple. Wow. Remember that Walmart parking lot? 11:47 p.m. Tuesday, Columbus, Ohio. Same flickering light, same empty lot, same economy. Wojak hamster with his $11, his shaking paws, his truck ticking in the dark. 3 rows over, Doge Papa in his Camry, tea in hand, portfolio glowing green on his phone. The difference was never income, never luck, never talent. The difference was one decision, what they parked their money in. Wojak parked his in a depreciating truck. Doge Papa parked his in appreciating assets. And every month, that gap widened until it became a canyon that Wojak couldn't see the other side of. The storm is coming. Hormuz, tariffs, OPEC, Houthi missiles. Pick your trigger. It doesn't matter which one fires first. Gas is going up. The invisible freight tax will follow. Every price on every shelf in every store will rise with it. The only question is whether you're above your gallon line or below it. Wojak reaches into his glove compartment. Past the overdue insurance notice. Past the crumpled Wendy's receipt. Past the parking ticket he forgot about. He pulls out a pen and a napkin. And for the first time in his life, he starts doing the math himself. His take-home, his truck cost, his gallon line. The numbers are ugly, but they're real. And real is the first step out. He starts the engine. But this time, he doesn't drive home. He drives toward the used car lot on East Broad Street. The napkin with the math is on the passenger seat. The check engine light still glows orange, but Wojak isn't looking at it anymore. He's looking at the road ahead. Drop a comment right now. What's your gallon line? Your take-home times 0.1 divided by 12. Run the number. I read every single one. El Pepperoni closes his laptop, finishes the espresso, and tilts his sombrero one last time. The system wasn't built to protect you. It was built to extract from you, But now you know the math, you know the gallon line, you know the escape sequence. Sell the depreciating prison, buy the boring machine, redirect every free dollar into accounts that grow instead of accounts that drain. The best time to do this was 2 years ago. The second best time is before you close this video. Your move. Doge Papa pulls into his driveway, hangs up the HODL cardigan, and closes his laptop. Green across the board. He turns off the light and sleeps 8 hours. His laptop. Because when the storm hits, the only ones who sleep are the ones who prepared while the sky was still clear. Much prepared. Very calm. Wow.